Hi guys! Welcome back to another episode of The Rundown. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, share, like, comment. Yes. My name is Ndanu Nzyuko.
And I am Mikhala Barasa.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about business registration. Okay?
What does this channel do? Please introduce us properly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
As you should be.
Hey, my God. Nani, mnaonanga hizo memes that don't marry a lawyer. Hey, this is the problem.
Unaniharibia so. Imagine I'm wearing this nice dress, looking very calm and collected. Kwanza inafika huku kwa mguu.
Oh, yeah.
Someone might spot me, alafu unaanza slander, please.
No, unakaa unaweza pelekwa kwa mother-in-law sahi.
Bas. Mimi nasue.
Okay. All right. So basically what we do on the rundown, we talk about legal issues. What are the legal frameworks that we have in Kenya? Though soon we shall go international. The more you subscribe,
the more we go. By the way, tushaanza.
Oh,
Naomba ESG tuliongelea EU.
Yeah. By the way, tunaenda.
GDPR kule kwa data protection.
We are going. Yeah. So we're talking about also the regulatory framework in Kenya and what you need to do to be compliant with the regulatory framework. We also talk about economic issues and other issues that may not be very easy topics for people to talk about, but we try. Okay? Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. And as I had mentioned before, I was cut off by this advocate of the High Court. We're going to be talking about business registration. I think anajisikia zile episodes zenye she is the expert.
Lazima.
Yeah, so we're going to.
So you should feel pride in your work.
Wow.
Pride in my work.
Yes.
The Bible says take pride in what you do.
Hey, mpaka tumerusha hapo.
Yes, ndani ya mix. Okay.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay, so I hope this episode, you're going to enjoy this episode. So let's start. Okay. So tell us, what are the different types of business registrations that you can have in Kenya?
Kuna ya kibanda, okay, I do.
So, ya kibanda tuna register.
Ya kibanda, kuna shop, kuna spam. I joke. So there are different types of business registration processes in Kenya. Mm-hmm. First of all, maybe I need to bring to your attention the business registration service. Stan, I hope you're taking notes so that you put that name here. Business registration services, they have a website or a platform. Let me call it a platform where you can go to register your own businesses. So we can maybe start with a sole proprietorship or a business name. So to register a business name in Kenya is very easy. I think you usually need it's either 850 or 950 shillings. You go through eCitizen, the eCitizen portal. You get into the portal, you input your details. They'll tell you to give them three proposed names for the business. They'll ask you for your ID. I'm not sure if they ask you for your KRA PIN or your KRA PIN number. And then they ask you for maybe the place of business, and then the nature of business. So to register some businesses, like maybe a legal service, they'll ask you for a letter from your professional body. Like us, they get a letter from the Law Society of Kenya. Okay. And once you input all these details, there's a form that you auto-download from eCitizen. Sometimes you need a lawyer to stamp it and sign it. That is a very quick process. If you have a very techno-savvy lawyer, you just email them, they send it back to you. You re-upload. After a few days, you have your business registration. So it's very swift. And before even we go further into this episode, I would like to tell you as Kenyans, and I'm a lawyer and I keep saying, I want your money very much. But if you're a very techno-savvy Kenyan, you can actually register most of these businesses on the e-platforms yourself. You go into eCitizen and BRS. You can register these businesses yourself. You know, I'm saying this because, let me digress a little. I'm saying this because you get someone, they tell you, I want you to register for me, business X or company X. And you tell them, this is my fee. They're like, oh, but you only pay this amount to BRS. You're like, yeah. Can register. See,
oh,
the
I get
legal service
you.
is not an emergency.
Yes.
Figure it out. Like, that's my rate.
If you don't want to pay the rate, just...
Yeah, figure it out.
Okay.
So secondly, maybe we can go to a limited liability partnership. A limited liability partnership is, it needs at least 2 directors. So it's a hybrid between a company and a business name. It's one of the best businesses to register because of 2 reasons. Well, for me, it's because of 2 reasons. One, it's way easier to register. You don't have to keep filing annual returns, zile za company's registry.
Yeah.
And then number 2, it also gives you the benefits of being in a company, like in terms of in case the partnership has liabilities, the liabilities are limited to that organization. They can't personally attach. Now that's the difference with it and a sole proprietorship, which is a business name. If you have a business name, kama uko na deni ya mtu ama auctioneers wakikuja, they can carry your equipment kama wewe ni stamp and get into your bank account. But if you have a limited liability partnership and your equipment is registered in the company, in the limited liability partnership, that is the only thing that auctioneers will carry. The liability doesn't attach to you. So the process is simply much almost the same as registering a sole proprietorship. That one usually costs 25,000 shillings and 50. So it's a bit expensive because of the hybrid nature of it. Mpaka hapo tumeshikana.
Mpaka hapo tuko sawa.
And then we go to companies. So there are public companies and private companies.
Yeah.
So public companies are companies that you do not limit who can buy shares in those companies. Like Akina Safaricom, Kakuzi, and they are allowed to trade in the I almost said New York Stock Exchange, but in the NSE, Nairobi Stock Exchange. So you can actually invite the public to subscribe to your shares through an IPO to either raise money, raise capital, or like make money for shareholders, whatever it is that you want to do with that money. But you see the challenge with public companies is everything has to be laid bare. Your financial reports, you have to show them out. Like you have to, that's what you usually see. These public companies have their financial reports in papers. Because it's a requirement for a public company to publish this. Yeah. So it's companies that anybody can subscribe to their shares. I discriminate. If you want to buy shares in them, you buy shares. Then you can register a private company. So a private company is this one yenye kila mtu ako nayo. I have a company ni hiyo. Actually a public company will cost you 10,000 shillings. 10,050 ama 10,650. They're about same to a private company. So a private company is limited to 50 members. You can't be past 50 members.
Okay.
And why is it called a private limited company? Because it is private. Only the people you want can come into the company. So if someone wants to buy shares in that company, it's maybe upon request or like a very solid transfer, and the directors have to sit and pass a board resolution for someone to be included in the company.
Okay, that makes sense.
When we talk about private company again, I want to break it up into two. There's private company limited by shares. So that is, when you go to the eCitizen, you say we have 1,000 shares, each share is 1 shilling. Therefore, our capital is 1,000 and we have 2 members, each of them has contributed 500 and that's it. So private company limited by shares is the company has to have shares. It has shares that are distributed amongst its shareholders.
Okay.
Now, then there are private companies limited by guarantee. So private companies limited by guarantee are these companies that they don't have shareholders per se. They have people called guarantors.
Okay.
And the guarantors, at the point of registration, they say, in case this company falls into debt, I can guarantee up to this percentage and this percentage and this percentage and this amount of capital.
Okay.
These companies are not usually very common with business people. They're usually very common with NGOs and charitable organizations because the purpose of companies limited by guarantee is to enable the company reinvest the profits that they get into the community. So you'll see there are some good organizations in Kenya. Like I can give an example of something like Drop Access. They have a company limited by guarantee because they want to reinvest their money into reinvention.
Okay.
I can also give an example of something like, okay, that is a foreign company, but I can give an example of an organization like maybe say Amrefelt Africa, if they wanted to register a Kenyan chapter, it would be a company limited by guarantee so that they can reinvest the money they get maybe from their clinics and from their university and whatever it is to kind of help the communities around. And then now there's foreign company. Foreign companies are companies that have been registered overseas, and then you come, put them in the BRS system, and you legitimize them to carry out business in Kenya.
Okay. Very interesting. I hope you have a notebook. Stand hapo nyuma ya kamera, ameshika notebook, ameandika. Hey, so please grab yourself a notebook and learn. Okay. So I think now let's come down to people who want to register businesses maybe in different counties. So maybe I want to open a shop, an M-Pesa shop or something in Nairobi. What are the requirements?
Okay. So if you if you have to open a business and you have a business premise, there's something called a business permit.
Okay.
And it's different. There's different rates for different permits in different counties.
Okay.
Because each county heads that docket. It's a devolved function. So each county will offer their own business permit. So different business permits look different. So in Nairobi, the two mandatory ones that you need to have are usually business permit itself, it's just called a business permit, and then Nairobi City County business permit, and then a fire certificate. That means they've inspected your building, now they know you have the relevant fire equipment, and all those things.